So, why would God command me to do something that it's so incredibly difficult to do? I can't forgive them, and you can't make me. We're going to talk about it today during the podcast, which I'm doing live, which doesn't happen very often. Here we go. Welcome to the Diary of a Discarded Daughter. I am your host and freedom facilitator, founder of Christian Drama Queen Solutions, Lisa Schaefer, and I'm glad that you are here. Today we're going to talk about things that impact those of us who have dealt with abuse, abandonment, been discarded. Stick around, guys. I'm sure this is going to be a topic that you can relate to, and if not, certainly someone you know can. Here we go. All right, welcome everybody to the podcast. No, we don't need to hear that again. I've never understood. I've never understood why the automatic setting for the intro is to replay the intro. I never understood that, and I probably never will. So, so just decided, despite the fact that I woke up late with a horrible headache and I am not dressed, I'm wearing pajamas. I don't care. I am finding that every little thing prevents me from talking about what it is I feel like the Lord has called me to talk about. And so rather than allow those excuses to prevent me from sharing the message today, I'm just coming as I am. Come as you are. This is me. I'm coming as I are today to you to share this message. One of the things that a lot of people say to me is, and for those of you who don't know, the Diary of a Discarded Daughter is the new name for the podcast I was doing that originally was called The Chronicles of the Christian Drama Queen. I just kind of felt like people needed to know more about what it was I was talking about in the podcast, and the title was impacting that. So today's topic is for those of us who've been discarded, abused, suffered any kind of trauma. Listen, that's everybody. That's everybody. Everybody has struggled with something. Everyone has struggled with some sort of trauma. We have memories of bullies who have been horrible to us. We've had childhood trauma. Maybe we've been molested or assaulted or beaten by our parents or beaten by someone else. We were abused by a teacher. Excuse me. We all have something that we can say caused us trauma. And there are these people that when I say to you, fill in the sentence. First of all, if you guys can hear me and are willing, that we can say caused us trauma. I'm going to mute this out, but I would love to hear in the live chat if you can hear me okay. And whether or not I'm overmodulating because it's just a radio thing. So here's the problem. We work out this thing in our mind that says, you don't understand. What such and such did to me was horrific. It was painful. It haunts me to this day. I have nightmares about it. I have dreams about it. I remember it vividly. It impacts my personality. It impacts my desire for work. It impacts every part of my life. It is such a horrible thing. You don't understand. I cannot forgive such and such, fill in the blank, for whatever it was they did to you. Fill it in. You can write this down and keep it in front of you because I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to tell you today why this is important. And I've shared this before, and I'll keep sharing this message because it was a message that impacted me so much that it's the foundation. It's the foundation for my ministry. Okay. It's the calling. It's the calling. And as I was saying earlier, I just decided to come to you in my pajamas, and I don't care because this is important, and every little thing pops up and prevents me from sharing these things with you. So I'm going to share them with you today. If you are one of those people, and you can give me a hand raise in the chat, raise your hand. If you can have said, I can't forgive them, Lord, and you can't make me. If you've said that, give me a thumbs up or raise a hand in a comment in the comments. Don't we all have somebody who's done something to us that we just cannot forgive? We all do. Okay, then here's the question. Why does God command us to forgive? You need to forgive others so that he can confess, you confess him before men, he'll confess you before his Father in heaven. You forgive others the way he forgives you, and he says to forgive 70 times 7, which, by the way, is just a number that means infinite and an infinite amount of times. And it applies to one sin. So the 70 times 7, the same sin. Forgive the same sin 70 times 7, 490 times. It's an eternal number, okay? So that's the whole point of that. Why would he command us to do that if we honestly could not do it? Why would God command forgiveness? Think about it for a minute. Are you telling me that he wants to set us up? Set us up to fail. I know you're not going to be able to do this. I'm commanding you to do it anyway. And you're going to fail and sin. And that's what's going to happen. So I'm commanding you to forgive, and you're not going to be able to do it. Listen, sweetie, you can do it. You can do it. And here's the reason it's important, okay? This is the reason it's important. It's important to forgive, not just because God tells us to, not just because he equips and empowers us to. 2 Corinthians 1:3-5 talks about how God is the God of all comfort. And so he is going to comfort you in your distress, in your suffering. And then he says, you're going to take that comfort and offer it to other people who are struggling with that same distress. So there's a reason, right, to come to him with your suffering. But here's the real reason you need to forgive. And I'm going to tell you this in a story. It's a short story, very short story. I might be able to spit out 60 seconds or less. We'll try. I was probably in my mid-30s, and it was Easter Sunday, and I was listening to a pastor give an Easter Sunday sermon. Everybody else in the family had already gone to church, and I was running late, so we just lived a few blocks away. So they all went, excuse me. They all went to church, and I stayed home. And while I'm getting ready to go and I'm curling my hair and I'm putting on my makeup in the mirror in our teeny tiny little 950 square foot house, I'm listening to this pastor. And I should tag him because he's still pastoring. And I'm listening to his sermon on the radio, and he's talking about forgiveness. And he made this comment, and it was earth-shattering to me because it was earth-shattering to me. It changed my perspective so much so that I had to stop what I was doing and cry and cry. And he said this, it's not that you owe someone forgiveness. You don't owe anyone who's hurt you forgiveness. But when you remain bitter about something that's been done to you, when you can't forgive, it's like surrendering your heart to the very person you would never give your heart to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? What that means is the man who abused you as a child, if you cannot forgive him and you are bitter toward him, you are surrendering the best part of you to him. To the mother who was vile and abusive to you as a child, to the father that was an abusive father, to the person at work that sabotaged your career, to the spouse that you trusted who broke your heart with infidelity. Listen, it's not that none of that is painful. It's not that that's not painful. It's not that that didn't hurt you. It's not that that didn't change you. All of that is very, very true. But when God commands us to forgive, it's not because we owe it to our perpetrator or our abuser. It's because if we're in bondage to bitterness, it's like we have handed over our heart to the very person we would never surrender our heart to. So, how important is it for you to stay bitter if it means never being freed from your abuser? Because you realize if you give your heart, because you're bitter, to your perpetrator, to your, I use the word perpetrator a lot, I don't know why. Excuse me. But if you have surrendered your heart, isn't that like they're still abusing you over and over and over again? Think about that for a minute. You would never give your heart to the person that abused you or perpetrated violence against you or damaged your career or ruined your life. You would never do that. You'd never give them your heart. But that's exactly what we do when we say, I can't forgive them, Lord, and you can't make me. Take hold of that today. Because you probably know somebody that's like this, right? You know someone who is so completely in bondage to their bitterness because of pain that was perpetrated against them that they can't let it go. You know someone like this. Share this message with them. This is their opportunity to see this from a different perspective. Lord, I know I need to forgive, but it's so hard. This is what the Discarded Daughter Ministry through Christian Drama Queen Solutions is all about. Walking through this process, figuring out, because it is a process. I spoke with a counselor today. She and I are working on a podcast together, and she said this to me, and it was so encouraging because this is exactly the way I feel. There would, many a woman who has gone through infidelity with their husband has been adulterous. And a pastor will counsel this couple and say to this wife, you need to forgive him. And it's not that that's not true. You do. You need to forgive those that hurt you. God commands us to do it. And he equips us to do it. But here's the problem. After the pastor says, or any other counselor says, hey, you need to forgive. Okay, how? How do I do that? And I'm telling you, God's word clearly gives you a path. Clearly gives you a path. Nobody ever points to it. It takes work. It takes effort. It takes time. You know that verse in Romans 8:28, all things work, for we know, I love that, for we know all things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose. We know that. What do you mean they work together for good? And let me be honest with you. It is work. It is work. It is a process. It is a step-by-step searching and following the Lord to the place where you can set that person free in your heart. And then they no longer have the best part of you. When you don't forgive, you are continuing to abuse yourself through the abuse of someone else. They continue to have your heart. And so I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm not telling you that it's going to be a breeze, Hey, just do it today. That's not that way. It is a process. And that's what Freedom Facilitation does. I walk people through that process so that they can go from believing all of this stuff that's not true about themselves. Because let's face it, once you're abused or abandoned, you don't think you're loved or wanted or cherished or desired. You don't think you're worthy of anything that the Lord has planned for you. You don't trust other people and you don't trust God. I mean, these are all things that have to be, these are like little bricks building a wall of freedom for you, or, links in a chain that we're breaking. We have to talk to ourselves about the truth and learn what the truth is about all of those things. And one of them is that you can't, the lie is that you can't forgive because it hurts. You think you're going to give something up. What are you going to give up? It'll be a chunk of your personality. It'll be your right to make them pay. So you're going to be giving that up. For many of us who have been victimized in any way, we have um, years of wishing for justice that never happened. The justice never came through. They never paid a price for what they did to us, and may never. Both my father, who abandoned me as a very, very young child, and my abuser are dead. They are deceased. And as far as I know, neither of them ever paid. So we keep thinking we've got to find a way to make them pay. Listen, the Lord says vengeance is his. Christian Drama Queen Solutions helps people walk through this process of forgiving the unforgivable. It is a step-by-step process. So you have to get there. You have to get to a place where you're willing to walk through the process. You are commanded to forgive, and you are the one holding yourself as a continual victim when you don't forgive. And I'm not telling you this is easy. I'm just telling you it is necessary. It is necessary. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay? Keep that in mind. Thank you guys for being here for the podcast today. Obviously, I did it live on Facebook. I did it live on YouTube. If you want to see the videos or you want to hear the podcast, there are ways to do that, and I'll post those links in this. Also, you can get regular emails from me that talk about this subject. All you have to do is go to freedom.christiandramaqueensolutions.com. That will sign you up. And it will also give you access to some free resources and assessment to walk you through this process to get things started, get the ball rolling. Also, if you want to find my Bible studies, it's super simple. One of them is called Discarded, A Daughter's Journey to Reclaim Freedom and Forgive the Father Who Left Her Behind. The other one is called The Christian Victim's Guide to Forgiving the Unforgivable. They are both available on Amazon, but if you order them there, they will not be spiral bound like this one. So the way to do that is just shoot me an email. Say, I want to buy it from you so I can get it spiral bound. Lisa at Christian Drama Queen Solutions. Share the podcast with a friend, guys. There are other people out there who need to know that they can walk in freedom. And you know I love you.